dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Jack Demler. Officials with the City of Prestonsburg Police Department are warning people to be aware of credit card fraud. An employee from the King's Daughters Clinic in Prestonsburg has been reportedly stealing people's credit card information. Katie Pickelsheimer collected copays and fees from a number of patients while working at the King's Daughters Clinic. The City of Prestonsburg Police Department reports Pickelsheimer has been using the credit card information to purchase items off of the TikTok shop. Pickelsheimer is said to have been on the run after finding out that the police department was after her. If you have been to the King's Daughters Clinic and have suspicious charges on your credit or debit card, officials with the Prestonsburg Police Department say you need to reach out to them.
We saw a few showers across southern and eastern Kentucky earlier today, but right now we've got mainly clear skies across the region, and we're going to keep that going on into Mother's Day. Right now, let's take a look outside the WYMT studio. See mostly clear skies, down to 54 degrees right now here in Hazard. Pinpoint Doppler not picking up on any precipitation. That's just a little ground clutter showing up on the radar and could be indicating that a little bit of fog may be trying to form. But you can see there were those rain showers earlier. Those have since exited the region, and now we are left with clear skies. Temperatures currently falling, though. We're heading into the mid-40s overnight. Right now, most of us in the mid to upper 50s, with 61 showing up at both Jackson and Moorhead. Here's a look at the forecast from the WYMT First Alert Weather app. If you don't have it yet, what are you waiting for? Scan that QR code in the top right corner of your screen and download that app. You can see we are dropping down into around the 45-degree range for your overnight lows, but we're back into the 70s for Mother's Day. Things looking really nice as we celebrate those moms out there. Now, there is another chance of seeing the northern lights tonight. However, the chances are not quite as good as last night. Mother's Day looking dry, but after that, the forecast turns active. We got a lot to talk about, Jack, so folks need to stay tuned. We'll have that full forecast here in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Shane, thank you. It's nice that Mother's Day will be filled with nice weather. Hundreds of people made their way to the Appalachian Arts Alliance to support local crafters. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more from the Queen City's first Artisan Festival.
Shannon Gabbert knows all too well the role festivals play in someone making a living.
Before we opened our small business here in town, we were first and foremost crafters and artisans, and fairs and festivals like this was one of our primary ways to get our product out in front of people and build our customer base.
So she and her husband worked to plan the first Queen City Artisans Festival.
And we have everything from a guy that's doing primitive tools and knives and jewelry to 3D printing and everything in between.
To support the talented artists in the region.
But we do have so many talented people in this region. So part of it is showing them work, trying to inspire other people to use those talents.
Gabbard says people come from all over to get one-of-a-kind items.
Whether that's Louisville, Berea, Lexington, Gatlinburg, you know, people travel hours away to attend this type of event. So we wanted to bring that here to our region to support our local artists and to bring folks into our region as well to support the other small businesses here in town while they're here to visit the festival. Of course, it's Mother's Day weekend, it's wedding season, so this is also a good opportunity for people to get out and find some really unique, special gifts that are going to be treasured for years to come as well.
With hopes of also treasuring the festival for years to come. In Hazard, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Gabbard says they had enough sponsors and support from the community that they will donate the vendors' fees to the Appalachian Arts Alliance, further supporting arts in the mountains. The 7th annual Gray Matters Run took place today in Whitesburg, seeing a near record number of registrations. With around 100 people packing the race in Whitesburg this morning and another nearly 100 people taking the virtual option. WYMT's chief forecaster Brandon Robinson's annual brain cancer awareness race was deemed a success. He says the event is a great way to raise money for cancer research while also sharing the stories of people in the area impacted by cancer.
It's good to know that I not only have the support, but brain cancer survivors are all here. supporting their various causes.
Brandon says it was a beautiful day to keep spreading the word about a cancer that he has beaten 3 times. Some science teachers are getting the chance to refresh some of their skills with a training. On Saturday, teachers gathered in Floyd County for the NEED project training learning through solar ovens, UV beads, and energy houses. Teachers got to learn several. Sydney Stewart teaches middle school science at Letcher Elementary and middle schools. She says it is important to stay up to date with training as students continue to evolve.
So science is an ever-changing thing. There's new discoveries every day, new things implemented, and students are also changing compared to how they were, say, 20 years ago when I was a student and we just read out of books and we didn't put this stuff into motion. So I think these trainings are giving me the opportunity to really apply them in my classroom so I thoroughly understand what is happening. That way I can make sure that they understand to the fullest.
Stewart says it was also good to collaborate with other teachers during the trainings. This weekend is a time to celebrate the moms in our lives, but Mother's Day is more than a time to say thank you. It's also a chance for moms to check on their mental health. And experts say because moms are constantly looking after their families, they can sometimes forget about themselves. A CDC study shows about 1 in 10 women have had a major depressive episode in the last year. Even more, research shows about 1 in 8 women who've recently given birth experience postpartum depression. Jonathan White, a licensed clinical social worker with Norton Healthcare, says it's important for moms to be self-aware about their feelings and find healthy coping strategies to manage.
Because self-care is different from self-indulgence. And so when we outline our self-care plan, we look at the domains as how are you doing physically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually? What about workplace and how are you handling your relationships? And typically you would rate yourself. And then in the areas where you fall low, then there are strategies to be able to pick that up.
White also says managing grief is a part of self-care. For those who lost their mothers, White says it's okay to have those feelings and maybe celebrate the holiday the best way you can. Coming up at 11, you could have another chance to view the Northern Lights. That's still ahead.
And we're going to be tracking those chances, plus a look at your Mother's Day forecast. That's all coming up on the other side of the break.